Я же не женщина, у меня плохих дней.
I'm not a woman, so I don't have bad days.
Like any run-of-the-mill dictator, Putin can say whatever he wants. And he does. Here are some of the wackiest and weirdest thoughts going through Putin's head. They'd be hilarious if it wasn't for the rampant sexism and dark authoritarianism. Number 1. Just imagine, even I sometimes get rusty water coming out of the pipes. Funny, but fact. I'm ashamed to say this. And it's actually a state property. Or maybe that's why. I don't know. Rusty water? Maybe he was referring to his palace that he's been building for himself since 2005. Navalny's documentary mentioned that Putin's unfinished palace encountered countless problems, with leaking pipes, ventilation, and mold. Just imagine, you are the president of the biggest country in the world. You spend all those years working hard to steal all that money, and your palace still has mold and rusty water. What heartache! That's why you gotta share this pain on state TV. Number 2. Everything in the world is very interdependent. And if you try to punish someone, like a naughty kid by putting them into a corner on peas so that it hurts, then in the end, they will cut off the branch on which they themselves sit. As you might have guessed, this quote was in response to the sanctions imposed on Russia by a number of countries. These sanctions made the lives of ordinary Russians much worse. Putin's life, however, hasn't changed much. He still enjoys his palaces and stolen money. He's not the one being put in the corner. The Russian people are. Putin can't imagine that the world could go on without him. But really, it already does. Number 3. In an interview with French newspaper Le Figaro back in 2000, Putin blurted out a phrase that summed up for the world and Russia what his presidency was going to be about. We wield a big stick, which can clinch an argument with one fell swoop. But we have not used it yet. We are simply holding it in our hands. It didn't take that long for him to start using the stick against anyone trying to tell the truth. During Putin's presidency, a record number of journalists, activists, and opposition politicians have been beaten, jailed, or killed. Recent protests in January 2021 saw Putin's special forces use batons against peaceful protesters, including women and the elderly. As Putin said, in his world, a baton clinches an argument fast, with one fell swoop. Thugs aren't known for being good with words anyway. Number 4. In August 2020, a Russian opposition leader, lawyer, and anti-corruption activist Navalny was poisoned by Putin's KGB. His response on state TV was bizarre, and yet somehow classic Putin. He confirmed that if he wants someone dead, it'll happen. Why should we poison him? This is funny. If it was needed, it would have been done. A month and a half later, Navalny returned to Russia after receiving medical treatment in Germany. The plane landed, he was detained and jailed. And the real question now is, why would Putin jail him? Is Navalny's situation not funny to him anymore? One thing seems crystal clear. If Putin wants someone in prison, it's done. He's the judge, the justice system, he's the czar of them all. Number 5. About then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. When people push boundaries too far, it's not because they are strong, but because they are weak. But maybe weakness is not the worst quality for a woman. Moving past the absurd sexism, let's stop and think. Does a strong leader really need his picture taken shirtless on the back of a horse? Does he need to try to bend a frying pan to prove his manliness? And he still thinks Hillary Clinton is compensating for something. Number 6. Spying is like prostitution, one of the most important professions in the world. Only a true dictator can openly admit at a state conference that prostitution is as important as spying. Prostitution is illegal in Russia, and activists should recruit Putin to be head of the sex workers' legalization movement. Number 7. I am the wealthiest man. Not just in Europe, but in the whole world. I collect emotions. How great for someone to collect emotions. The fear of random imprisonment, the worry of losing your job or even your life, the terror of not seeing a future for yourself or your kids. This is what an average Russian collects, while Putin stacks toilet brushes in his palaces, paid for with dirty money.